Welcome back. We hope your time working on your regret or your deep fear or anxiety was helpful. And now what we want to do is get you and your partner together to have this all-important and maybe relationship-changing healing conversation. So we want to structure it in a way that ensures that both people are being heard and feel safe enough to share. And we did provide you some steps on how to tune in to your partner and respond with love. And we are really building off some of the teaching that's already happened. And if you remember from the repair conversation, when we're ready to repair, we always start by reconnecting with your partner. You know, typically it would involve some physical touch, which allows us to really feel that our partner's real here, and they count and they matter to us, and we make eye contact, and we're not in our own world angry on the side of the couch with our arms folded, but we're paying close attention to our partner and their needs. So that's step one of the process, is connect with your partner physically. It'll be important for you to be calm and in a good place to receive your partner when they're ready to talk. So like other exercises, we encourage the person who's perhaps what you would call the withdrawer, let them go first. It gives them an opportunity, because they might be a little more nervous than you are about sharing such deep and vulnerable emotions. They might also have a concern about even how long this process might take. So we do suggest 20 minutes approximately each per partner. And each partner would take a turn to go through all of the 7 steps. And then the other partner would have an opportunity to go through their 7 steps.
So not to confuse people, they're not really steps, they're just tips.
Yeah, they're tips, I guess. Yeah, you don't go through one at a time, but they're a way to structure how you can receive your partner, because it's how to tune into your partner and respond. So
you have this as a handout.
Yes, you already have written your letter, which are your steps. But as the receiver of the other person, these are some ways that you can ensure that you're truly present with them. So I'm going to go through and read them over, and they are in your workbook. So number 1 is connect with your partner physically. Number 2 is, if strong emotions come up for your partner, let them happen. Not everybody is comfortable with seeing their partner emotional or seeing their partner struggling, but you know what? It's really important that they have the space to be able to feel what it is that they want to feel. And if you're going to start giving signals that you're uncomfortable with that, you might actually give them the signal that it's time to shut it down. So what we want to do is allow them the space to be able to feel what they want to feel. And if it makes you uncomfortable, take a deep breath, encourage them to keep going, because you know that it's helpful for them. The next one, the next suggestion is to let go of any expectations of what your partner might reveal, and let go of any expectation of how deep that they might go. So as a withdrawer, and with Tina the pursuer, perhaps if we have a healing conversation, she might in the back of her mind think, well, he probably could go deeper, you know, too bad he didn't go deeper. But the truth is that I'll go as deep as I can go in this moment, and my wish is that my partner will receive me for what I'm able to offer right now. It may look like I could go deeper, but perhaps this is all I can offer right now. So I also don't want to get the message that I could go deeper, because that really might cut me off from even tapping into what's going on within myself.
Right, and we can't forget that this is your first exercise at trying to do this healing conversation, but it's not going to be the last healing conversation you have in your relationship. That's the whole point, right? And that's what we'll talk about in the last module moving forward. how to continue having some of these conversations in the forefront now that you know how to do it. And then hopefully you'll see from the exercise that you're sharing that there's deep value in that. You'll want to do more of these. And every time you do, it gets easier.
Right. And we have to remember that when your partner's talking, it's about them right now. And what might happen, and it's on our list of tips, is that there might be some surprising information revealed to you. You might not know about this thing that they're talking about. And it's important to withhold your own strong negative emotional reaction to that, to give them an opportunity to be present with what they are sharing. We strongly encourage you to truly just tap in and try to be as empathic as you can with your partner and truly stay with them without going off on a tangent of emotional reactions, because it may catch you by surprise. There might be some surprising information here, but that'll be an opportunity later for you to process some of that. This exercise is about you paying attention to your partner and your partner paying attention to you.
Right, because it could also be the reverse, that it's not surprising at all. Actually, you think as soon as the person starts to talk about it, it's like, oh, I know that already. I've already heard that.
Right.
But if they're sharing it with you, it means that there likely is a piece of this they don't feel you fully understood. So open your mind even further, open your ears even, how do you say that? Tune your ears even more to try to listen for that emotional aspect. Because maybe your partner shared this before, but not at a vulnerable place like they're trying to do now. Right? So give them that space, even if it's something you think you already know.
Yeah, and like Tina said earlier, it might have been something that they need multiple cracks at it in order to really clean it out and to really get it, kind of empty out that place of whatever hurt or regret it is. And sometimes people need 4 or 5 times, to have that conversation, that healing conversation. And our goal is to try to be as present as we can without trying to steer it in a direction. We're there not to steer it, not to control it, but just to be present and allow them to truly feel safe enough, and maybe they'll go a little deeper. And then if they're safe, maybe they'll go a little deeper after that.
Right.
And then the last one is, well, really, it's about trying to pay attention to how your partner is viewing you, responding to them. So if you are feeling truly empathic, Tina can feel that. She can sense that from me. If I'm having a strong reaction to it, a negative, maybe some judgment or feeling defensive, or I have a feeling that she'll get a sense of that. And now we're going to change the dynamic of this conversation. Now it's becoming about me. Now it's about my defensiveness rather than Tina having an opportunity to share what it is that she came here to share.
And that's especially an important tip for pursuers to take into consideration. And I speak from experience of doing that with you for a good part of our relationship before I even recognized that I did that. Whenever Michael would attempt to share something, as he's learning how to do this, it didn't always come out very vulnerable. There was a hint of frustration in that and whatever. And I would go to, be affected by that. I would be, all of a sudden, I would get overwhelmed with some feelings. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you think that of me, or you see me that way. And I would get hurt and I'd start to cry. So then Michael would tend to me because I was crying and upset. And I didn't even realize that I would do that. But then in my own pain, I wouldn't go back to him to have him continue to talk about what he needed. And so one day he took the big risk to tell me that, okay, he says, he told me, this is what you do every time I open up to you. I start sharing, and then it's about you, and then I have to tend to you, and it never comes back to me. And basically, I'm not going to share anymore if that's what happens, right? And so it was a really good wake-up call for me. Even as a therapist, I hadn't realized that I would do that. in my own relationship. And since then, I'm very cautious of that. And sometimes I feel myself react inside. I'm like, okay, no, stay tuned in, stay tuned in. My feelings will have a chance to come out after I give him the validation he needs. And if I struggle in that sometimes, I can say, okay, this is really hard for me to take in. I need a moment and I want to come back. I want to come back to really be able to tune into you. I just need to kind of calm down a little bit because this is hard to take in, right? And
that's totally fine. Because I know when she says, I'll come back, okay, so now I am going to get my time. Yeah.
And I'm trying to be present with you. That's why I'm conscious of needing to first calm down and see why I'm reacting like this and just process that so I can put that aside enough to pay attention, tune in to Michael.
Yeah. And it's not that we don't want you to have emotions when your partner is talking and sharing, but we want them to be empathic emotions that is in relation to tending to them. So rather than being upset about something that Tina said that I feel that it's not true, and so I'm going to know if you want to shed a tear out of empathy, please do that. In fact, that might be very therapeutic for your partner to see that you get a sense of that it feels true to you too. And wow, what a moment that would be if you could truly be that present with your partner where you feel their feelings, which is what empathy is. So don't be shy about feeling strong empathic emotions. We're just talking about checking your own strong reactions that are about you. We're going to check them and they'll get addressed later, probably at another conversation.
Right.
So, and the last thing is, we give a rough estimate of 20 minutes. As a withdrawer, I need to know that this conversation is not going to go into infinity. I need to know that
especially with me.
I'm not going to have to be, emotionally tuned in for 95 minutes. So give a rough estimate of 20 minutes, and maybe for those pursuers, just be aware of how much energy it's taking your withdrawing partner to stay truly present with their own stuff and with your stuff. So we're saying 20 minutes each, and it might take a little longer, it might take a little less, who knows. But, just be aware of how your partner's doing energy-wise and whether it looks like they might be fading. And that's okay. That doesn't mean they don't care. It just means that they might be getting tired and maybe you need to do a second crack at it.